Oh, welcome back, Beta Grill RC. Today, we paint a body. So, what is up, guys? So, I got a RC event coming up. Depending on if you watch this video right when it goes up, we'll already be at the event. I don't plan to load this video until the day we get to the event because I want to keep the body a secret from everybody. But we're painting a body. So, we're going to be using Perline Liquid Mask. I haven't used the Perline version. I've used Liquid Mask before. If you haven't used Liquid Mask, if you're doing a very intricate paint job, I highly recommend this, unless you are very skilled at using masking tape like Hemistorm. Dude's got gifts. I can't do the masking tape stuff like he does. It blows my mind. I'm better with Liquid Mask. So I went to my local hobby store. I had a body and a paint job that I wanted to do, and I went to try the new Perline spray paints they just came out with. They only had 3 colors, and none of them that I needed. Well, there was a flat black, but I grabbed another flat black instead. So, you're gonna have to wait to try the new Perline paints, but they had the Perline Liquid Mask. I'm like, you know what, we're gonna try this. I am out of Liquid Mask that I used to use, so figured, what the heck. And there's a reason. It's a body that I am painting I've had for a while, and I've had a paint job in mind for one of these, and I'm going to finally do it. So I have the Perline Ford Raptor body that comes with the rear cap. They're discontinued. They're getting pretty hard to find. I have 2 of them. I bought the 2 that I was able to find pretty quick, snagged them up. I've had these actually for a year or so now, so I'm finally going to use them. They're going on my base camp. I had just painted a body for my base camp, and it was going very well until I used one of the main colors, which was a Tamiya metallic green. It was an old can, and it didn't go well. So that body is pretty much, in my opinion, ruined. Does it look good from 5-10 feet away? Yeah, but I know it's bad, and I'm not happy with it. So I'm going to try to do another paint body. So, anybody who grew up in the 80s, born in the 80s or 90s and grew up, you're probably going to be able to figure out what this paint job is really quickly. Anybody got an idea what that paint job could be? Anybody? Anybody want to what those hood stripes look a lot like? Anybody? I'll give you one super easy hint of what it's going to be. That's right. I'm hopefully going to pull this off, but I'm painting up the body to look like the Jurassic Park Explorers from the very first movie. I've always loved that paint job, and I've always wanted to do one. I've never done it, so I'm going to try. So this is the body. He's got the cap on the back. So, again, if you're looking for one of these, you might find them on eBay, maybe at some local. I had to order one through a store from New Jersey. I was amazed they had one. And then I think I snagged one out of one of the guys in our club, Back Hills RC, I think Josh had gotten me one through a trade. Well, he did. I remember, I've got 2 of them, somehow. I've also got 2 of the Raptor bodies that don't have the cap on the back. What I'm thinking of doing is, you can still find them pretty well. I think I'm going to cut the rear end off it so I can have a bed inside here. And put like some scale Jurassic Park stuff or dinosaurs, I don't know, something. So I think we'll try that too. So, on to this. So first things first, you want to trim the body out, which do however you like. Legs and scissors, if that's your way. I use the score and snap method, which is running a hobby knife all the way around on the body lines and where you want it, and snapping the Lexan off. I think it's easier, way easier than Lexan scissors, and gives you a way cleaner line, by far. So, next, you want to wash the body. Simple, fill up your sink, maybe that much water, an inch, put a couple drops of Dawn dish soap in it, mix it all together, warm water, and use a soft towel or a soft side of the sponge and just wash out the inside of the body, because they use a mold release and it leaves a grease mess in here, so you want to wash it out so the paint sticks. Wash it out. I also recommend doing your hands. Get the grease off your hands before you start masking or touching the inside of the body at all. So I always wash my hands too with dish soap to get the grease off my hands before I do any masking. So I've already washed this. I just washed it in my hands. Luckily, with doing liquid mask, it's doing your hands really isn't that big of a deal. So the next thing I want to do is put the window mask in, and then we'll do the liquid mask over top of that. And pretty much, then I'll show you what you do after that. Alright, so window mask are on. The next is up to you how you want to do the liquid mask. You can pour it on little at a time, won't go a ton. Dump it some into a bowl, a plate, dip your brush into the bottle, however you want to do it. And then Proline recommends 2 to 3 coats and 1 hour to 2 hours between coats so it can dry. It's just like paint, you want it to dry. For it to work properly, you want it to dry. So I'm just gonna start off here at the hood, and there's no real technique to this. You just brush it on. Now you don't want. I've always found it's better to not have to kind of more thin coats. You don't want it pulling up. I figured what I found in the past was using other. Now, of course, it's my first time with Proline paints or liquid mask, so I'm not 100% sure how much it matters with theirs. You just want to coat everything with a thin coat, and just get into all the nooks and crannies. If it pulls up a bit, don't worry about it. It'll still dry. I normally like to go back over this with a hairdryer, even in like the spots where it pulls up, because that way you know it dries. Because then it's like, okay, it still might be a little pulled up or whatever, but hey, you know it's going to be dry. So that way you can go with your next coat once it is dry. And I definitely use, wow, this Proline stuff goes a long way. I was not expecting that. I have tons of it. I didn't. So, I forget, I think it was Spastic's liquid mask I was using before. And it worked well. I never had an issue with it. But for the amount that I just put on with the Proline stuff, compared to the Spastics, this went a lot further than I was really expecting. Now, this being made for the airbrush, it is more liquidy. The Spastics was not as liquidy of a liquid mask, if that makes sense. It was more kind of like a paste. So I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see where it's kind of bubbling up a bit. So when it does that, you just want to scoop it up with your brush and put it somewhere else. And again, even if it pulls up a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. It's usable. You just kind of want to go over the whole body. Now again, you don't be worried about, oh, did I miss this spot? Did I miss that spot on your first coat, your second coat? Because you're going to have multiple coats. So it gives you a ton of time to make sure you get all the little nooks and crannies. And in like this thing's got the hood vents on the grill, or yeah, the hood vents on the grill. The hood vents on the hood. At the grill has some depth to it. The headlights. So you don't have to worry about getting it the first time. Get it on the second go. Get it on the third go. If you take your time and just kind of make sure you get your brush in every little nook and cranny, at some point you're gonna cover everything. And luckily with liquid mask, it's easy to tell when you miss a spot, especially when you get a couple of coats on. You might have to dab it in a couple spots, like some of the more hard to find spots. I've got one that I think is going to be a pain on this truck, which is the tailgate. And this hood vent, the Ford Raptor hood vent. Now, another reason, of course, I like this body is because it's a 2017 Ford Raptor, which I have a 2017 Ford F-150. I don't have a Raptor. I'm not that special. But still have a 2017 Ford F-150. So it's about as close as I'm ever going to get to actually having a body that looks kind of like my truck. Well, not this paint job, but just this style of Ford. They don't make a regular Ford F-150 body for 2017. So I'm just going to let the video go. I'm going to show you guys how quick this goes. It's not a long process. And I hope everybody out there is having a good week and a good weekend. So you can see that the body's kind of got a greenish, bluish fog to it now, kind of. And the other thing is I'm going right over the liquid mask, or the paint, the window mask. Just straight over it. It's probably actually, in the long run, it helps secure the edges, in my opinion. I don't know if I've ever had a window mask bleed when I actually had liquid mask put on. I don't know. I've never actually really paid too much attention, but I don't think I have. So there's like spots that can be hard to get to. So they're on the roof. There's like roof rack things. All you gotta do is dab the brush in there. So you see the tailgate, how that sticks out? So like that, just dab the brush in there. And the thing you'll find once you do this a couple times, it's super easy. The hardest part is making sure with liquid mask you get a full coverage, because if there's any super thin spots, like if you somehow miss a spot after 3 to 4 coats, liquid mask can be a pain to get off. Now most of it is water soluble, so you can, once they're done painting, if there's a spot you've seen that, hey, the liquid mask isn't coming off, you can normally just take water and go over it, and it'll come right off. So if you're having it, the only thing that sucks with that is if you're doing that and then you realize, crap, I still got paint to do, but the part that the liquid mask isn't coming off of is where you have to paint. So then you got to reapply the liquid mask, which again, not a big deal as long as you still have some. You know, these bottles can go. This bottle will last me a long time. My old bottle was the same size, and I never had to worry about that bottle running out. I mean, a lot goes a long way, or a little goes a long way, I should say. And yeah, so that's the first coat. So when this dries, it'll be a lot clearer, but it'll still have that hazy look to it. I mean, it's already drying already. And if you hit this with a hairdryer or a heat gun, it's going to dry a lot quicker. I'm not in too much of a rush for this one, so I've still got about 4 days until I actually have to go to the event, so plenty of time to get this done. So I like going right back over, just kind of pre-checking the body. If you got a light, just hold it up to the light and you'll be able to see, like I can already see a couple of clear spots. And you'll know, you can definitely tell what's clear and what's covered. It's very easy to see. And again, if it is, don't worry about it too much. If you miss it the first time, get it on the second time. Alright. So, pretty much now, I'm gonna let this dry. Close the bottle. Go wash out your brush. Just regular water. You ain't gotta do nothing special. That'll just all rinse out. So, you're gonna let it dry. Do your next coat. Let it dry. Do your next coat. If you feel like it's still a little too thin, do a fourth coat just to be safe. Then you're gonna use a X-Acto blade very carefully and very lightly to trim out your graphics. Now remember, you want to paint in a certain order. You want to do your darkest colors to your lightest colors. So in this one, I'm going to trim out the black body trim that I'm going to do, the grill inserts, the window trim, and then the roof rack pieces things. Those are going to be in black, so that's the first color I'm laying down. Second will be the red, which is most of the roof and then all the stripes. And then the bottom is a green-yellow fade. That's going to be the interesting part. I have not done many fade paint jobs. I think I've done one, maybe two. I think just one. So, going to do that. So that'll be interesting. And then the last thing I'm going to do is come back and show you how to do some flat black stuff on the outside of the body. It's going to be kind of like doing liquid mask, but you're going to use the actual cover, the protective film that is on the body. And we're going to trim that out and get all the black panels that I want flat black. So I'm going to get the rest of the layers on, and then we'll come back to just a quick thing of kind of trimming it out, and then we'll start painting it. Alright, there you go guys. So that's all the coats. It's dried. You see how it's got like a nice green bluish color to it, haze. So there you go. So that's done. So pretty much now it's the easier part, but also the challenging part. You can do this however you want to. If it's easier for you to use the whole handle, I prefer to just grab a fresh blade. I can kind of have a little bit more control over it, just like this. Obviously, very sharp, so you gotta be careful with these. And you just want to go around your outlines and trim out your designs and everything. And the main thing with doing this is you don't want to cut deep. You don't want to really score the Lexan, because if you have a rollover or anything, you could cause the Lexan to break prematurely. So you want to be very light with this. I mean, you'll be able to tell the difference when you're cutting through just the liquid mask compared to cutting through the actual Lexan. You're not going to cut through the Lexan just holding a blade like this, but you are going to be able to score it to the point where it could break. So be careful with doing this. Take your time, and because you want to make sure you want to do it right. Again, these bodies normally cost up to $70, $100. So you want to take your time and do it right. So just slowly take your blade. You want a fresh blade, especially doing this. It'll cut through easier. So get a fresh blade. Take your time. Work around every little thing. And then once it's done, once you get your outlines done, you're ready to peel whatever your first color is going to be. Use the blade to just kind of pick at it and get it to start to peel, and then peel it slowly, because maybe the blade might have missed a spot. So you don't want to peel, all of a sudden you rip half the side of the body off, and you're like, great, I got to recover all that. Do it real lightly, and if you start to see it start to peel more than you want, take your blade, trim that, just cut it a little bit, then keep peeling. You'll get it to the point. So first thing on this truck I'm going to do is black. So I'm going to go through, do all the cutting, so everything's ready to peel And then, because once you start spraying this, you're going to cover up all your Sharpie marks or whatever you're using to mark. You're not going to be able to see it. So I'm going to go through, do all of this first, get it all cut, and then peel where it's going to be black, paint the black first, then peel where the red's at, paint the red first, and then we go from there. So, I'm going to come back pretty much once I start getting some paint on this. Alright guys, so, painted. So, one thing I forgot to mention when you're doing liquid mask, you want to treat it like regular masking tape or window coverings, whatever. When you start peeling it, like you do the stripes, you're peeling stripes, you want to go back over it with your finger and press it back down to make sure it's still stuck to the body. They do peel off sometimes, but it's like masking tape, you can push it right back down and you'll be fine. So, I had to do that a lot on this body. I think with the Proline liquid mask, I'm going to do 4 layers from now on. I did 3, and it was a little hard. It wasn't bad, but it was still a little hard to peel off. I think I would actually do 4 the way I do it. So, I've already peeled all the window mask off. So that way, once we do this, you're going to get to see the whole thing. There's one more piece I got to peel. I forgot. Alright, there's the windshield. So I did the window trim. The fun part. This is like Christmas for when you paint a body. You get to get to see your gift. And hopefully it came out the way you wanted it. But one thing when you're doing that, sometimes the paint on the outside will flake off. So you'll want to wipe the body down and try to get all of it off. And then with the liquid mask, you're still going to have some on the edges of the body. But there it is. So I had a little bit more green in it than I wanted. You know, the yellow fades about halfway up the door. I did the yellow first. I don't do many fades, as I said before. So should have probably taken the yellow up further. The green bled more into the yellow, but it's still there. You get the concept. But yeah, once the thing's decaled, I'm happy with it. Got some bleed in certain areas. I didn't go heavy enough. This is the first time using Traxxas fluorescent paints, and I definitely thought I was heavy enough, but there's certain areas I should have gone heavier right in these areas, the edges. But all in all, I am happy with it. The stripes came out good. You still got the yellow, but fade to green. But once I get the decals on it, it's gonna look awesome. I have a full interior that's gonna go into it. What I did to make an interior for this cab was I have the pickup version of this truck. I cut the end off, just the bed of it. It fits perfectly. And then I have an interior that's going to go into it. That way that's in there. But, all in all, I am very happy with it. Since the truck in the movie had yellow wheels to match, I painted the wheels that are going to go on this truck. So, alright. Well, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll do one more quick little show once it's decaled and everything's ready to go and it's on the truck with the wheels and tires. And then that'll be the end of this video. Alright guys, so here we are. I want to show you real quick. Don't know if you'll be able to tell. I made the shifter his cane, and he's got the little baby raptor coming out of the egg in a cup holder. all in all, I'm happy with it. It came out good. Especially because, really, this body's just a beat. That's all it is, just to beat the crap out of. So, I'm really happy with how it came out. The interior looks great. So, appreciate you guys watching. Again, liquid mask is pretty simple to use. Just put it on, let it dry, do a couple coats, put what you want into it, peel, paint, peel, paint, peel, paint. So you're done. And like I said, after doing this, I would definitely, with the Pro Line liquid mask, with brushing on, I would do like 4 coats. But, alright, well, appreciate you guys watching, and again, have a great one. See you on the next video.